UK. Alright, would you want me to tell you the history of guns in the UK? I'll give you a little breakdown. This will be interesting for anyone who's not from the UK, because no one really cares. But up until 1996, you could own most guns. Not the kind of heavy artillery that you might own in certain countries, you know, like certain automatic rifles and so forth. But you know, you could have handguns, you could have your Glocks, your revolvers, your Berettas. You could have all that. My friend's stepdad was a member of the Pep and Gun Club. He had a Glock and a revolver. But in 1996, we had a mass shooting at a primary school in Scotland, Dunblane. I think like 18 or 28 kids were murdered by some lunatic. And then they introduced the gun amnesty, and they made basically pretty much all guns illegal except for shotguns. So double-barrel shotguns, single-barrel shotguns, air rifles, 2.2s, and some pump actions. And you have to have, and it's very stringent on getting a license for one of those weapons. Mainly people that go shooting, you know, for sport, like shooting birds, and farmers get to own guns, but no one else. No one in urban areas is going to be allowed to own a gun, because the only reason you want a gun in an urban area is to shoot your fellow man, basically. So they took all our guns away from us. They had amnesty bins. They did it with knives as well. So you had bins outside police stations where people just dropped off guns. So that was 1996. Then by 2001, the murder rate, about 2002, between 2001 and 2003, the murder rate due to guns doubled. So they made guns illegal, but actually more people were murdering each other with illegal firearms by 2003, and a vast majority of them were teenagers. So you went to the 90s where teenagers never shot each other, and then they banned guns, and then teenagers would just shoot each other like it was fucking, you know, like they were collecting stamps, I suppose. That's the history of UK gun crime. And then every year they change it, so you get a longer sentence for having a knife, and then everyone started using guns. And then you got a longer sentence for having a gun, then everyone started using knives, and blah 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 blah. And then there was one year when everyone started using acid. That was a few years ago. But now they're back to knives again. But you know, don't worry, guns will make a comeback in a couple of years. It just goes around in circles. It's been like this for over 20 years. So it's just weird. So you get AR-15s. I don't think we ever got AR-15s unless you're in the fucking army. I don't think anyone was allowed an AR-15. Wants to do a buyback on ARs. Well, at least, well, to be fair, they want to get rid of AR-15s. At least your government's willing to give you money for them. At least he's going to buy them back. Our government said, no, you just got to throw them away. No compensation. It's either you give your gun up and don't get compensated for it, or you're going to be a criminal, and we'll put your ass in jail for 5 years. So, with fairness to your strange prime minister, at least he's going to give you some money. But, well, yeah, of course they are. It's the government. I mean, I know, I get it. Yeah, it's the tax dollars, but you know. Your tax dollars pay for worse shit than that, than buying back guns. Your tax dollars pay for, you know, the job shy. Fucking, your tax dollars pay for girls who just are too dumb to use contraception. You know, it pays for all kinds of stupid things. So, you don't think it'll go through. Seems a bit mental. I just steal a load of AR-15s and just fucking sell them to the government. Or just tell some stupid people, go, well, you know, you got to give your guns up. Yeah. I don't know, there's got to be some way to make money out of that, sure. He wants to hide his guns. He fucking should. I think everyone in the UK, well, probably a lot of people did hide their guns. I don't know. Like I said, I only knew my mate's dad had guns. You know, I would hide your fucking guns. Because there's something very unsettling when you live in a country where, this is what I've always thought, the police can have guns in the UK. And in fact, the police have always been able to have guns that you were never allowed to have, like AR, you know, similar to AR-15s. You know, automatic fucking machine guns. That's what the armed police walk around with. So the state, you know, the people that are in charge of you have got all the firepower and you have nothing. You're not, they're allowed it, you're not allowed it. I think there's something weird about that when, you know, the powers that be are allowed to do something and you're not. There's an imbalance there. It is worrying. Yeah, I mean, I know in America, I don't know about Canada. No, standard UK police are not armed. Only SO19 armed response units. But these days, because of terrorist incidents, and because of the rising gun crime over the years, you do get areas patrolled by armed police anyway. But usually as armed response units will go, you know, for a specific situation, they'll get the guns out. But now you get armed patrols quite a lot, like in you know, busy tourist areas at some train stations, airports. You know, they're armed with machine guns. Some council estates in London had armed police patrols because of the level of violence that was going on there, like drive-by shootings and shit. So you know, they armed a lot of police. But in general, the police are, you know, they'll be armed with a taser and a bat, taser and a stick. So they'll tase your ass and beat you with a stick. I don't think you'll be able to stand the UK. Why? Because you can't have no guns. I lost my guns. Gee, shit, they got a lot of guns out in Thailand, actually. Fucking shitloads of guns out here. Seems to be fucked. I will tell you this. If you go back 10 years ago, no, people on your side of the water, say America and Canada, and so forth, gave a shit about what was going on in the UK. Totally ignorant to the UK, but more recently, people, especially in America, seem to be suddenly having an opinion on the political situations in the UK. And I think it's hyped up a lot. It's not as bad as people are making it out to be. It's in the middle. It's all in the middle. The problems with immigration aren't as bad as it's made out to be, but it's also not as good as it's made out to be, because it's two political sides. One saying, "Oh, it's all roses and sunshine." The other's like, "Oh, it's an Islamic hell on earth." It's in the middle. It's in the middle. Same with knife crime. Knife crime isn't as bad as it was, but it's just because, you know, really, all the talk about knife crime, because it's like, just, yeah, in the middle. The murder rate is higher than New York, but people forget that New York has steadily had a declining murder rate for decades. You know, it had its peaks in like the 80s, when there was like 11,000 murders a year or something fucking ridiculous like that. And they sorted their shit out in New York, and it's really more of a testament to how good New York has got rather than how bad London has got. If you look at the statistics, it's just New York keeps getting better and better and better, and London just fluctuates, goes up and down. And we're just at a point now where suddenly we're going through a more violent period. More people are dying, but still the murder rate isn't. You know, it's not like somewhere like Baltimore or fucking New Orleans, you know, where they got ridiculous murder rates. You know, tiny little cities with fucking 300-400 people murdered a year. You know, London's a big city. When you've got, there's 100 people murdered already this year out of like 10 million or so in the metropolitan area. You've been accepting a few immigrants. But you don't get as many because you've got water. We've just got a little bit of water. Don't forget, because you think Europe is connected to all continents. It's, you just got the Americas that are connected, whereas like, Europe, once you get through Europe, you can get into Asia by land, and you can get into Africa by land. So it's all, and there's a hell of a lot. And people want to come to the UK because it's better than France. They get to France and they're like, just stick me in a lorry. This place sucks. It's a testament to the UK, how great it is. But immigration's been out of hand for like 20 years. The Labour government, everyone was saying it. You used to look at the numbers. It was like sometimes it's like 600,000 people a year were coming in. And if you look at it from a simplistic point of view, like going, well, we've got homeless people of our own. Like, where the fuck are all these people going, and what are they doing? It just because there's more people coming in than going out. And I don't know. Mass immigration has been a problem for a very long time, and it has changed the demographics of a lot of places. And at one point, David Cameron and Ed Miliband, when they were the two main party leaders, they both acknowledged at that point, it was like 2015 or 20, where they're like, we haven't listened. I did a video on all this shit. We haven't been listening to people's concerns about mass immigration, and it is a problem. And they both said, we must stop demonizing people's concerns about mass immigration and by labeling them as racist and stuff, and actually listen to them. That was a few years ago. But when those two left office, when those two are gone, now the rhetoric is basically either all immigrants out, or love immigrants, or you're scum. There's no balance. No one's listening anymore. So those concerns that finally were acknowledged have now just been, swept under the carpet. And that's why you get shit like Brexit. And that's why populism's on the rise. Populism's on the rise because no one was listening to people, and they were just fucking dismissing people as racist. And I kept telling people, do you know what I mean? Saying you can't be going around like labeling everybody a racist or this because they have certain concerns. Especially when it comes to Islam. Islam's problematic because why is it problematic? Because after 9/11, we were all conditioned to be terrified of Islam and terrified of Muslims when it wasn't even that bad, by the media especially. Like, they drilled this shit into our heads. They pumped you full of fear, and then when you became really scared, they turned around and labelled you a racist because you were made scared by all the shit they told you. It's like, excuse me, that's a bit rude. So I notice a lot of them live together and get everybody work, wage jobs, live in a big house. Yeah. Sweden's government was super anti-immigration. Yeah, well, fuck knows what's going on in Sweden. Sweden's mental. I didn't realise how mental Sweden is. Like, they got drug gangs out there bombing each other. I mean, people say like, oh, we got violent gangs in the UK, but I've never heard of any rival gangs bombing each other. We've had bombings, but that's from like the IRA and Islamic fundamentalists mainly. I've never heard of fucking like some gang from Peckham bombing a gang from